Today, as we step into summer, we are going to be doing another summer glove shootout. Stick around. Hey, this is Chad with BeGoneForGood. We do videos all about adventure motorcycling, from the bikes we ride, the trips we take, tips, tricks, tutorials, everything under the sun when it comes to adventure motorcycling. You'll find it here on this channel. If that's the sort of thing that interests you, definitely subscribe, hit that bell down below so you get notifications every time we upload a new video. And definitely, if you like this specific video, leave a comment down below, like it. It all helps out the channel. Now, I have been riding with held gloves for probably about 7 years or so. They were the first gloves that I had. I had a couple of others. I had a Revit and I think a Climb along the way. Didn't like them. Stuck with the helds and have been really, really happy ever since. However, this past year, the held gloves finally got a seam break in them. So my finger came out and the gloves are essentially worthless. So I had to go in and start looking for my next option. And of those two, or there were two that I was actually looking at, one was the Sambia 2s right here. And the other is the Sambia Pros. Oof, that's a much tighter fit. The Sambia Pros right here. Now, the Sambia Pros are most like the ones that I came with. In fact, I think this is almost an identical glove to what I used to have, with a couple of changes, a couple of updates in it. But ultimately, this is kind of what I came from. This is the next generation of what I came from. So I'm going to be comparing these two. Now, I've already made my decision for the trip that's coming up in probably about 7 days or so. But this will just be a little bit of rundown about kind of what I thought about these two gloves and what led me to make the choice that I made. Now, when it comes to the protection on the palms, they're pretty similar. The Sambia 2s has a little bit more kind of velvety feel on the outside of the palm, which I think might get you maybe a little bit better contact on there. But ultimately, they're pretty similar. On the Pros, there's a lot more kind of perforations in there. I imagine this glove, at least on the palm, breathes a lot better. But ultimately, there's still some perforations on the 2s. But really, the biggest difference that you're going to notice is that you've got kind of the shiny side of the leather on the palm for the Pros and the sort of fuzzier side of the leather on the Sambias. They are both constructed kind of the same. They have the super fabric, the little micro beads that slide as your kind of palm there. They both come up to kind of a short glove with a Velcro closure on them. One has a pull tab, the other doesn't. They both have this little plastic piece here this right here, in case you come down on your arm there. This one has this one. It's a little bit more rubbery. This one feels a little bit more plasticky, but very, very similar construction. You can see on the palms how this one is a little bit more kind of, I guess, has a little bit more fuzziness to it, whereas this one is a little bit more just the perforations and the shiny side. If we roll around to the back, you'll see that on this one, you've got these scoops that are there. I don't know if you can kind of see that, but it's like scoops that pull in the air. And then there's a venting system on the back so that air hopefully can kind of run over your knuckles real easy. This is a heavily padded area. This is a big chunky piece of plastic. It's got a little bit more give than the last ones I had, but these scoops I think are built to just get as much air into your hand as possible, along with some kind of lighter fabric up here at the fingers to also do some breathing. I imagine with all of the holes that are in this glove, the perforations that are in this glove, and these massive scoops, you probably get some decent airflow through this glove. The thing that I liked about these initially is that they have an external seam. So the seams that you feel in on the inside, this one has them on the outside. You can see it kind of running along the edge of the finger here. And on this side, you can see how it's stitched on the outside as opposed to the inside, so that's not rubbing against your finger the entire time. Makes the glove a lot more comfortable to wear over long durations. So that's what I really liked about it. For the padding on this side, or the knuckles on this side, they've gone to this kind of one piece, super flexible, kind of low profile plastic piece. Now this doesn't have any scoops. There's a couple of perforation points here that I think probably will draw some air in, but ultimately it's really just kind of like a little piece of plastic here. It's much more comfortable. You don't notice it as much, whereas this massive thing feels like you got knuckles on, right? Like it's a big chunky piece. This one forms to your hand a lot better, but I'm guessing probably doesn't have the same level of airflow that the other one does. The fabric up on the top is very similar in both of these. Feels kind of like the same stuff that, at least on the previous glove, flowed air really nicely and kept my hands nice and cool during the summer season. So I imagine that'll probably be pretty similar on both gloves. Ultimately, the way that I looked at this is that I made my choice off of the fact that as much as I would love to have these scoops kind of pulling in air on my summer riding, I tend to wear these gloves through all my seasons down here in North Carolina. I don't do a lot of riding in the super, super cold winter. And if it gets really cold, I mean, we're talking like, 40s and 30s, I'll put on my heavy, almost like ski gloves instead of these. But ultimately, pulling in this air like this, I don't think works on my bike as well because I have the bark busters that sit over top of it. So I don't know that I'm really getting the effect of those scoops with my bark busters sitting over top of it. But I do like how much more comfortable this glove is. So ultimately, the decision kind of came down to, do I want these fancy scoops? And if this works better, the thing that I thought was also kind of interesting is that because these scoops are so big and it's such a chunky piece of plastic, there's a lot of padding that's underneath this, whereas there's not a lot of padding under here, or at least it fits a lot better under here. So I wonder if all of this airflow is kind of ruined a little bit by the fact that you've got a ton of padding under there. Whereas this one, without the padding and being just a little bit lighter, might kind of be just an easier, breezier glove, breathe a little bit better, even though these have the scoops on them. So I was really torn. I almost opted to just keep them both, to just kind of test them both out to see what was going on. It's possible. I've got another 4 days, I think, to get this returned. It's possible that if it doesn't work out, I'm not going to be all that upset about keeping this glove, because I do think this is a great glove. If you can only get this glove, if you can only find this glove, buy it. Absolutely fantastic. If you have the option between the two, I'd at least test this one out. I am a big fan. I am going to be riding with this one when we go out to Colorado and Wyoming, and then all the way back home through a lot of summer states. So I think that I'm going to be really happy with this one, but we'll find out. But I might also be keeping this one. One choice, one glove, it's going to be here. Two gloves, I'll probably keep them both. All right, that is all I have for my summer glove shootout between the two Helds. I am a fan of both of these gloves. I am a fan of the Held gloves in general. I have a pretty relatively big hand, I guess, at size 11, which I think comes in as a double XL. They go all the way up to 12s, I think, and then they also have long also. So if you have an even bigger hand and need that extra distance on the fingers, they can accommodate with the longs as well. I will be doing a review of these as I use them a little bit more out on the field, and then you'll see kind of what they're like. But if they're anything like the previous glove I had, there's really no contest. I'm not moving away from these gloves anytime soon, as long as the manufacturer quality and how they fit and feel is comparable. These are the gloves I would buy 10 of and just keep them for the entire time that I'm riding for the rest of my life. That's how good they are. If you have any questions, if you want to know anything else, absolutely leave a comment down below. If you have a different glove that you think might be an advantage, I've already gone through some of the climbs and some of the rivets and just have not been as happy with how they fit, have not been as happy with how they breathe. I've stuck on these, but I'm always open to other options. So if you know something, definitely let me know about it. Otherwise, this is my Held Summer Glove review for 2025, and I'll have you a little bit more information once we get out to Colorado and Wyoming. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Remember, the adventure starts with you, up here and in here. And I'll see you in the next one.